My beloved child. Listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is connected to the very title that brought you here. Last night, while the world was quiet and most people were asleep, your special person came across something they could no longer ignore. It was not loud. It was not dramatic. It was a quiet moment that settled deeply into their heart, and from that very second, everything began to feel different. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. For a long time, they had been trying to push certain thoughts away. They stayed busy. They distracted themselves. They convinced themselves that time would erase every unanswered question. But last night, something unexpected caught their attention. It reminded them of a promise they once made to themselves, a feeling they thought had disappeared, and a connection they believed they had already left behind. The more they tried to ignore it, the stronger it became. They realized that some things are not meant to be forgotten, no matter how much time passes. The strange part is that they were not looking for this discovery. It found them when they least expected it. A simple moment suddenly carried extraordinary meaning. Memories they had locked away returned with surprising clarity. They remembered conversations that once seemed ordinary but now felt unforgettable. Every detail appeared to fit together like pieces of a puzzle that had been waiting for this exact night. Don't skip, because this story is only beginning. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As those thoughts grew stronger, they started asking themselves questions they had avoided for a very long time. Why did certain memories refuse to disappear? Why did one particular person continue to cross their mind when everything else had changed? The answers did not arrive immediately, but the feeling inside them became impossible to deny. It was gentle, yet powerful enough to change the direction of their thinking. What surprised them the most was not what they discovered, it was how deeply it affected them. They realized that some connections leave quiet footprints on the heart, and no matter how far someone walks, those footprints remain. Last night became the turning point they never expected. Instead of running from those emotions, they finally stopped and allowed themselves to understand them. There is still another part of this story that has not been revealed. The discovery itself was only the beginning. What happened after they accepted that truth was even more surprising, and it completely changed the way they looked at the future. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next chapter uncovers what they decided to do after realizing they could no longer ignore what their heart had been trying to tell them all along. A quiet truth began to unfold before anyone else could see it. The moment your special person accepted what they had discovered last night, they could no longer pretend that everything was the same. A feeling they had ignored for so long suddenly became impossible to silence. They paused, looked back at everything that had happened over the past weeks, and noticed a pattern they had never recognized before. Small moments that once seemed ordinary now carried extraordinary meaning. Tiny details they had overlooked suddenly connected together with remarkable clarity, and they realized that nothing had been as random as they once believed. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The more they reflected, the stronger this realization became. They remembered conversations that ended too quickly, moments when they almost reached out but stopped themselves, and quiet thoughts that returned again and again without explanation. They understood that these memories had never truly disappeared, they had simply been waiting for the right moment to reveal their importance. Last night became that moment. Every unanswered question started moving toward an answer. Every confusing memory suddenly felt connected. It was as though an invisible page had been turned, revealing a chapter that had always existed but had never been read. What surprised them even more was the peace that followed. Instead of confusion, there was unexpected clarity. Instead of uncertainty, there was quiet confidence. They realized that some discoveries arrive softly, but their impact lasts forever. They found themselves smiling at memories they had almost forgotten. They noticed how often one particular thought returned without invitation. No matter how they tried to focus on something else, the same feeling gently found its way back. It was not forcing them, it was simply reminding them that certain connections remain meaningful no matter how much time passes. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the night grew quieter, they looked out into the silence and wondered why this realization had arrived now instead of months earlier. Then another thought appeared. Perhaps the timing had always been perfect. Perhaps some truths can only be understood after enough life has been lived, enough lessons have been learned, and enough waiting has taken place. That thought changed everything. Instead of asking, "Why now?" they began asking, "What should I do next?" The difference between those two questions transformed their entire perspective. One by one, they began letting go of old assumptions. They stopped believing that distance erased meaningful memories. They stopped convincing themselves that important moments could simply fade away. They accepted that the heart often remembers what the mind tries to forget. That realization became the key that unlocked everything else. Suddenly, the future no longer looked uncertain. It looked full of possibility. Then something even more unexpected happened. They found themselves imagining conversations that had never taken place. They imagined words left unsaid finally being spoken. They imagined smiles replacing silence. They imagined doors opening that once appeared permanently closed. None of these thoughts felt impossible anymore. In fact, they felt closer than ever before. It was as if hope quietly entered the room without making a sound. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your special person understood that discovering the truth was only the first step. Acting with honesty would require courage, patience, and perfect timing. They refused to rush. Instead, they decided to watch carefully, listen closely, and allow every next step to reveal itself naturally. For the first time in a long while, they trusted that not every answer needed to appear immediately. Some answers become more meaningful when they arrive at exactly the right moment. As morning approached, they carried this discovery with them like a hidden treasure. Nobody around them knew what had changed, but everything felt different inside. Even ordinary moments seemed brighter because they now understood something they had never understood before. The discovery from last night was no longer just a memory, it had become a turning point. But this is far from the end. There is one final piece they have not yet uncovered. It is the missing part that connects every moment, every memory, and every unanswered question into one unforgettable revelation. The next chapter reveals what appeared shortly after this discovery, something so unexpected that it made them stop completely and rethink everything they believed was possible. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The greatest part of this story has not been revealed yet, and what comes next has the power to change the meaning of everything you have heard so far. Just when it seemed that last night's discovery had already revealed everything, an even greater realization quietly appeared. Your special person woke up carrying the same thoughts that had filled their heart only hours before, expecting those feelings to fade with the morning. But something unexpected happened. Instead of becoming weaker, the feeling became clearer, stronger, and impossible to overlook. Every ordinary moment seemed to point back to the same truth. Every small reminder carried unexpected meaning. They could no longer call it coincidence because it appeared again and again in ways they had never experienced before. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the day continued, they found themselves replaying countless memories with completely new understanding. Moments that once felt unfinished suddenly made perfect sense. Conversations they thought had been ordinary now revealed hidden meaning. They remembered smiles they had forgotten, kind words they had overlooked, and quiet moments that had seemed too small to matter. Looking back, they realized those moments had been quietly preparing them for this very discovery. Nothing had been wasted. Nothing had been meaningless. Every step had been leading toward this turning point. The most surprising part was not what they remembered. It was what they felt. Their heart became calm instead of confused. Questions that had followed them for so long slowly disappeared. For the first time in a long while, they stopped wondering whether they should ignore their feelings. They understood that some discoveries arrive only after patience has done its work. Some answers cannot be rushed because they become valuable only when the heart is finally ready to receive them. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then another unexpected moment arrived. While doing something completely ordinary, they noticed another reminder that instantly brought everything back. It was simple, yet unforgettable. It felt as though life itself was gently confirming what they had realized the night before. They paused, smiled quietly, and accepted that this was no longer something they could dismiss. Every reminder strengthened their confidence. Every passing hour removed another layer of uncertainty. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, they became curious. They began wondering how many moments they had misunderstood in the past. They realized that life often whispers before it speaks clearly. The whispers had always been there, but now they finally understood them. They recognized that meaningful connections are not measured by constant attention but by the lasting impression they leave behind. That understanding filled them with quiet hope. As evening approached once again, they noticed another remarkable change. Their thoughts no longer focused on what had been lost. Instead, they focused on what could still become possible. They imagined new beginnings where they had once expected only endings. They imagined honest conversations replacing long silence. They imagined opportunities appearing where they had once seen closed doors. These were not unrealistic dreams. They felt like natural possibilities waiting for the right moment to unfold. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They also realized something about themselves that they had never admitted before. They had spent so much time trying to protect their heart from disappointment that they had almost hidden it from hope as well. Last night's discovery changed that completely. They understood that protecting the heart should never mean closing it forever. Sometimes the greatest strength comes from quietly believing that beautiful moments can still arrive, even after long seasons of waiting. This realization gave them a new sense of confidence. They stopped searching for perfect certainty because they discovered something even more valuable: genuine clarity. Clarity does not always answer every question immediately, but it gives the courage to keep moving forward. That was exactly what they found. They no longer felt trapped between doubt and hope. They chose hope with wisdom, patience, and calm confidence. As the stars returned to the sky, they looked back over the last 24 hours and realized how much had changed inside them. One unexpected discovery had transformed the way they viewed the past, the present, and the future. They knew that something important had begun, even though its full story had not yet unfolded. The journey was no longer about wondering whether the discovery mattered. It was about discovering where that truth would lead next. But there is still one final chapter that has not been revealed. What happened after this quiet transformation was even more unforgettable than the discovery itself. A new moment arrived that connected every memory, every realization, and every unanswered question into one extraordinary conclusion. It was the kind of moment that only appears when everything else has fallen perfectly into place. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The greatest revelation is still ahead, and when it finally unfolds, every part of this journey will come together in a way no one could have expected. Everything became unmistakably clear when another quiet moment arrived. Your special person did not expect anything extraordinary to happen after everything they had already discovered, yet life had prepared one final surprise. It did not come with loud announcements or dramatic signs. Instead, it arrived with a peaceful certainty that settled deeply into their heart. They suddenly understood that last night's discovery had never been about a single memory. It was about recognizing a truth that had been patiently waiting for the right time to be seen. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As they reflected on everything that had unfolded, they noticed how every piece of the journey fit together perfectly. The unanswered questions, the unexpected reminders, the quiet thoughts that returned again and again, and the emotions they had tried to set aside all pointed toward the same realization. Nothing had been accidental. Every experience had quietly prepared them for this exact moment. What once appeared confusing now seemed beautifully connected. They realized that sometimes the greatest discoveries are not new at all, they are familiar truths finally understood with complete clarity. For a long time, they believed they had to keep moving forward without looking back. But now they understood that looking back was not about living in the past. It was about recognizing lessons that could shape a brighter future. Every memory became valuable. Every conversation gained new meaning. Every smile they had once overlooked now felt unforgettable. They were no longer searching for answers because the answers had already begun revealing themselves one by one. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then something remarkable happened inside them. Their heart became lighter than it had been in a very long time. They no longer carried uncertainty. They no longer questioned whether last night's discovery mattered. They accepted it fully. With that acceptance came an unexpected sense of peace. It felt as though a chapter that had remained unfinished for so long had finally reached its perfect conclusion while opening the door to an entirely new beginning. As the hours passed, they found themselves smiling for reasons they could hardly explain. Simple moments felt brighter. Ordinary conversations felt warmer. Even familiar places seemed different because their perspective had completely changed. They realized that when the heart discovers something genuine, the entire world begins to look different. The discovery had not changed the world around them, it had changed the way they saw it. One quiet thought continued returning to them throughout the day. They wondered how many people miss extraordinary moments simply because they stop paying attention too soon. That thought reminded them to remain patient, hopeful, and open to life's quiet surprises. They understood that meaningful moments rarely arrive with perfect timing according to human expectations. Instead, they arrive precisely when they are meant to be appreciated. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As evening returned, they quietly made an important decision. They would no longer allow doubt to guide their next steps. Instead, they chose honesty, patience, and hope. They decided that whatever happened next, they would move forward with confidence instead of fear. This choice became even more powerful than the discovery itself because it transformed not only what they believed but also how they would live from that moment onward. The greatest surprise, however, was still waiting. Late that evening, another small reminder appeared, one so simple that many people would have ignored it completely. Yet to your special person, it confirmed everything they had been feeling since the previous night. It was the final piece of a puzzle they had unknowingly been assembling for a very long time. Suddenly, every question that had remained unanswered found its place. Every moment of uncertainty was replaced with quiet confidence. They understood that some journeys are never about rushing toward an ending. They are about becoming the person who can recognize the truth when it finally appears. That was exactly what had happened. Last night's discovery was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of an entirely new chapter filled with possibility, hope, and meaningful moments still waiting to unfold. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The story has now reached the edge of its greatest revelation. What happens next is not about another unexpected discovery, it is about the remarkable decision that follows it. That decision has the power to connect every memory, every realization, and every quiet moment into one unforgettable conclusion. When the final chapter begins, you will understand why everything had to happen exactly the way it did, and why last night's discovery became the moment that changed everything forever.